Hello and welcome to the meeting of the Rotary eClub of District 7710 for Tuesday, April 13th, 2018. Thank you for joining us. Just a few quick reminders about the ways you can connect with our club. Our website is leadwith.us. And if you visit the page, you'll be able to learn more about our club and contact us by email. We're also on Facebook if you look for Rotary eClub of District 7710. And you will also find us on Twitter, Lead With Us, and Instagram at Lead With Rotary. So please take a moment to friend or follow us. Well, good evening. I'm Rhonda Pierce. I'm currently charter member of the Rotary eClub and President Elect 2018-2019. I am here to talk to you tonight about our global grant. It's an Arusha water project. I will go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so the Rotary eClub was in a very unique position to have initially at the beginning of our charter, an actual district grant, and I'll go into how that happened. St. Joseph's and Garanaro Secondary School is in Arusha, Tanzania. This is East Africa, for some that may not be aware of Tanzania's sister country to Kenya. In 2014, Rhonda Pierce, myself, visited St. Joseph's and Garanaro Secondary School in Arusha. There was a project that I was working on with a cyber exchange between the sister cities, the Durham Arusha Committee. We had students in Durham, North Carolina, communicating just like we are tonight with students at St. Joseph's in Arusha. This was in 2012, actually, and so in 2014, I had my first opportunity to visit the students at the school. The school is made up of all girls. It's a 300 plus students, and this includes the actual community, includes teachers, servants, and staff, and about 460 in total. The question I was asked was, how could they get water? I had actually come to the school wanting to present laptops, and I thought that was so great because of our connection and how we communicate via the internet. But when I asked the headmistress what they needed, she said water. Well, here were the issues. The water supply was not good. They actually didn't have any running water at the time. The water was actually leaking out through the pipes that they had. They're very old and they had deteriorated. The water pressure had basically been too much in some cases, in some areas, and actually burst through the high powered pressure. The water is actually sourced from the military. They actually brought the water in. This water was put into water tanks, and there was a lot of problems where they didn't have the proper valves or anything to control the pressure of the water. And at times the water would just stop. So storage and so forth were all parts of this problem. The other issue was the water was only brought 3 times a week into the school. There was also a problem with dry season. There wouldn't be a lot of water available at all. So these were the issues they were facing. The solution was to repair the water pipes and replace those that were completely deteriorated and repair the things that they could. So this actually gave us the opportunity as a Rotary eClub to have a district grant. The grant was approved in 2015, and it was a total of $6,310. It was basically $3,100 that we had, and it was matched with our district matching. Our Rotary eClub created a memorandum of understanding that identified objectives of the project and identified the outcomes and responsibilities of all the parties. So this made our work light. What we were able to do and what Rotary requires you to do is to have a host in the country that you are doing the project in, actually helping with bids for the project and also assisting with any of the legwork, because obviously we're here. So we were able to join with Arusha Golden Sunrise Rotary Club, and they were able to handle the business on the ground, and we supported them here. So in October 2015, phase 1 was complete, and we were able to install the new underground pipes throughout the water system to fix the many leaks and repair. This picture, I have to go backwards, is of the students actually as the pipes are being brought in. Many of the students were gathering around to take pictures, and they actually helped and assisted in bringing the pipes to the locations around the school to position them. So phase 2 is underway, and phase 2 is basically a need for a complete water system. When we put in those pipes and the water was running, this was awesome. You know, the school was very thankful. Headmistress wrote us, some of the students wrote us letters. The issue became overpowering. The system actually could not handle the number of people using the water. So the system began to have a lot of backups and a lot of issues. So now we were looking at what do we do about this situation and how do we address the needs here. So reached out to one of our Rotarian action groups, and so some of you may not know that Rotary has many Rotary action groups. Like there's an environmental one that actually supported the tree plantings. So Water Rotarian Action Group is another group, and they actually support and we could say undergird those water projects that are out there throughout Rotary world. And they actually suggested, because my concern at the time was not having on the ground standards in place to ensure that we're really going to provide the best solution for the school. You know, we could do something, but that's what we did, an immediate need in phase 1. But now I wanted to ensure that we were doing the best thing that we could possibly do for the school to ensure that they wouldn't have problems down the road. So it was suggested to consider Water Mission, which is out of North Charleston, South Carolina, because Water Mission usually does projects abroad that are in areas like where refugees, or like for instance Haiti, they were sent there to do the water systems. So in this case, they had a project from Rotary that they were working on in Arusha, and we were able to reach out to them to assess our situation in Arusha as well. And so particularly what they do is assess the needs and the capacity to sustain the water. They look at sanitation and hygiene services, as well as mobilizing the community. So now they're actually going to train people locally how to do this work as well. They're providing the best quality equipment for that area. They're also going to make sure that the construction is of quality and has a standard that can be kept up. They also monitor and evaluate. So part of the project will include making sure that this is continued even after the installation. So as you see here, this is just a picture of another project that was done. The Water Mission person is training the local person, and they also bring in the community as well. This picture here to the left is actually our, it's actually St. Joseph's, and it's the local person working with the country director for Tanzania here. So this is just an example, but their solution is to develop water source. So whether it be a river or spring, or drill a well. And so in our case, they're going to have a borehole. So there's going to be a well, and because the military isn't going to continue to provide the water, so eventually it will be cut off. And also it's very expensive for the school, so they can't continue to take more students. The building, you know, has the capacity for more students, but because they don't have enough water, you know, the water is shortage, then they figured it's best not to continue to grow the school. This opportunity for Water Mission to also test and treat the water to make it safe. They're also working on storage and protection of the water. They create multiple access points to distribute the water, and then they provide solar panels. So this is not just a solution of utilizing electricity to pump, but it also is actually cost savings because of the solar. So the recommendation was to provide a reliable source of water, again, looking at a borehole, and they have the measurements there of how deep it will be. They're also going to propose a system that has the maximum use of existing pipes. The pipe that was used, the pipe of what we actually put in, was too close to the ground surface. Again, the need for standards, right? So that was another reason why we're looking at having Water Mission. They plan to rebury the water 3 feet deep so that it would not, you know, it just protect the pipes. Water Mission plans to make, again, maximum use of solar power, providing 15,000 liters per day, and add the power selector switch with the grid so they can power it off if they need to. The cost, the total cost, is actually $73,548. There's 38% of this total estimation is really the borehole itself. But the assessment itself cost $800, with the design being $2,294, the construction being $59,800, and to develop with the community. So they do monitoring and evaluation by training the community, and they have that ongoing for several years. So they will come back and continue to assess where things are. But this is a part of their project plan to have community development. They also, again, teach hygiene and sanitation as part of this planning as well. So they'll have the follow-up monitoring for future needs there as well. So that's $3,515. So currently we have commitments and partners. Our Rotary Club itself, you may ask, how is our club participating in this? And we had pledged $1,000 towards this project, phase 2 of the project, and the Rotary Club of Arusha Golden Sunrise had pledged $100. The partners that we currently have are Downtown Durham Rotary Club with $2,000, Southwest Durham Rotary Club with $1,500, the Maine West Bay Rotary Club for $1,000, and a Rotary Club at Naples North for another $1,000. The Rotary eClub won. This is another eClub, and I believe they're in Canada. They're for $2,000. Then we have the Sister Cities of Durham Arusha Committee. They're pledged $1,000. And then we have the Crowsdale Retirement Home. This is a local retirement home to Durham. Their organization called Religious Life Community, they actually not pledged, they've actually paid $3,000. It's actually waiting to go with the rest of this money, but we have $3,000 towards the project from them. The Global Run for Water, and some of you may not be aware that other water projects in our area are supported by our Global Run for Water. It's a separate nonprofit that came out of our a Cary Rotary Club, and they actually host a 5K race every year for the purpose of fundraising for water projects. So they have pledged 5,000. So currently we have 17,600 between pledges and committed money, and then we have remaining need of 55,948. So our next steps are to, our next steps are to, for the water system in 2018 is to continue to work with the Rotary Club of Arusha and talking with Water Mission and St. Joseph's, making sure that we're still, keeping them abreast as to where we are and what we're able to do as far as the funding. Also presenting to local district clubs. I've failed to say in the very beginning that the Global Grant Committee currently consists of myself and David Mofford. David and I have paired up to do presentations to other Rotary clubs locally. And so the Rotary Club of North Raleigh will be meeting with them on April the 11th, doing a presentation. And then we'll also meet with Apex Sunrise. That's a 7 a.m. meeting on the 17th of April. So we're still actively seeking out Rotary clubs to partner with us. And we will, once we receive everything, we're able to get all the funding together, then we will go ahead and do submitting of the global grant. So we actually have the grant. It's an online tool that you actually have to apply. So the application is in place, it's completed. It's just that without partnerships, we cannot submit it. So without the funding to go behind it, we can't submit the grant. The Rotary Foundation, just so everyone's aware, actually matches what is put in, right? So out of that $55,948, if we were to raise enough money, we would be matched to that money so that we're not having to get the total $55,000 on our own. Our district also matches, but last year when this was submitted, because we didn't have the partnerships in place, we couldn't get the district match. Also last year, the district match only met for 4 global grants last year. So we'll have an opportunity to understand how global grants work and where the funds are actually coming from Rotary Foundation and how that actually works, because a lot of people don't realize it's not just like a bucket of money sitting there. It's from all of our giving throughout the year. Every 3 years, you're actually able to get that money in the form of a grant. So for instance, last year, we were getting money from 2014, if that makes sense. So that match was coming from money that was given in 2014. So in 2017, you were actually, so that 2014 year was shorter, or they had less monies to give than prior years. So only 4 in our district were matched. And again, because we didn't get our partners in place in time, we weren't able to go after the match, and it was less number of people as well. So I would like to stop there and just open up for questions. You take yourself off of mute if you have any questions about what I've presented, or if you want to talk about grants, we can talk about that as well.
Rhonda?
Anyone? Yes.
It's Kathy. I just had a question. I know that you and David, you mentioned, are going out to speak to other Rotary clubs. And is there a timeline of when we would need to come up with the money to go and make the global grant?
Yes. So the grants are funded year round. If there's funds available in your district, you'll get matched. If not, you can present to the Rotary Foundation once you have the amount that you need before you can actually have them match. So the match is only, it's not 50%, right? So it's, we're having to continue to work towards that match before we can actually submit. So anytime on a global grant, and the global grant is 30,000 or more. So everyone needs to be aware of that, that there is a criteria for what is considered a global grant. So we're definitely we meet that criteria, but this is a rolling type of grant, so at any time we could go forward. Now, we miss the district matching money if we don't have it submitted, or if we don't have our partners in place by June is when they're getting their budgets ready and everyone's trying to go for that matched money. That by August, the money is gone. So May, June is when we really need to have our partners in place.
Right. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Rhonda.
Yes.
How long is this project? I mean, is it a certain number of years, certain number of phases? What's the duration of this particular project?
So this project, there's no, how do you say? There's no ongoing phases at this time. The second phase, we had initially started phase 1 with the understanding that we were going to do phase 2, meaning we knew that what we were doing, not to say it was temporary, but it wasn't the final solution that was needed for them, but it was an immediate solution because they had a situation with cholera and typhoid and different things because of the water that they were getting wasn't clean because they didn't have running water. So that's how we ended up with phase 2. It was directly behind 2015. We started in 2016 getting our application in place. It took us actually the whole year, 2016, because we also had to make sure that the Arusha Club was actually ready to, join us again for this grant cycle. So it took us a while to get things in place. In 2016, we had things in place. 2017, we went after our partners, and it was a learning curve, I have to say. Wasn't really aware of how to go about getting partners. So that slowed us down. So I'm told that global grants can take up 3 to 4 years to actually be funded. That's what I was told later, late last year.
All right, so they're technically up and functioning now, but it's just not optimum. Is that it?
Right. The water will be cut off by the military soon. The military has moved into that Kisongo area, and they're now going to establish, a base. And so they will no longer be supplying water to the school. And again, the school has to pay for that water and so on and so forth. So if it's being cut off, it's only, like I say, 3 days a week that they have the water coming in, but it's going to be cut off. Eventually they won't have water. So that's one issue. The other issue is that the water that is coming is not properly set up so that it's overpowering the system, because the system was only made to handle, I understand it was only made to handle like 100 people, and there's over 400 people there. So the system is overpowered. And so they're going to actually put a proper system for the school and have it solar powered so that, it'll be cost effective for them. And that they actually can use that water to actually sell to there's a farm nearby. Other people in the community will be able to get water from the school, actually. So it's going to be a win for the whole community, not just for the school.
Okay, and part of the reason for the ability to do that is that it's now like this borehole thing that you were talking about.
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
not the tank.
It's not a tank, exactly. And Water Mission will train them on how to bottle it and supply it to, the community. Yeah, that's exactly right. Any other questions? David, I'm sorry, I don't want to not give you opportunity to speak.
Sorry. Hey, Rhonda, you're good. I'm just everybody. I'm learning from Rhonda about all this, knowing that she's gonna be taking on a bigger role in the club next year. She's kind of training me and to work with it. And, so as our world is expanding, we're trying to make sure that this doesn't this is something that we continue to focus on. So I'm kind of quiet in the background, but I'm soaking it all in.
Yes.
Ready to help as much as I can.
Thanks, David. No, I'm really appreciating his help. And like I said, the opportunity to talk to other clubs. Will be presenting not just the global grant, but just Rotary eClub as well. So it gives us opportunity to, share what we do as a Rotary eClub with other clubs. So if there's nothing else, if anyone else has any other questions, please feel free to ask. I wanted to give us all a good opportunity to, let me see. I had a video and I was afraid to try it while I was speaking. So let me see if I can share it now. Okay, so again, oops, sorry. That was actually the first. So this one that's trying to start was actually what the situation was. All the water that was coming was being spilt out just terribly, not, being utilized. So any rate, I just wanted you all to get a sense of what actually happened with our uh, providing the water, providing the pipes for phase one. This was the video that was taken, and what I have to thank Kevin Primus, our first president of the Rotary eClub, because he took these like 1 minute videos and put them all together with the music behind it and everything, and made that one very nice video. So it gives you all a sense of what we've been able to accomplish as a Rotary Club. And I have to applaud us for the wonderful work that we did in phase one, and look forward again to finishing phase two, so that the water that is coming in will continue to come in. And I have another video, but I don't need to show it to you today, that actually shows the situation with the water being overpowered by the system, being overpowered by the running water. So I have that sent out to you to look at on your own. But with that said, let's see, can I have a volunteer for the 4-way test? Anyone want to volunteer? Or do I need to choose?
I will, Rhonda.
Great, thank you so much.
This is Diana.
Thank you, Diana.
Of the things that we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you so much, Diana. And I want to thank our special guest, Manjeet. We're looking forward to hearing from you soon. And to all, have a very good evening. I'll stick around if anyone has any questions.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.